Everybody has an investment. The first thing you're asked, have you bought land? People have some small money. They enter into a sale agreement in an anticipation that they are going to get the money. They do not get that money. They go away. The owner rescinds the contract. The owner sells that land to another person. After 5 years, you come from America with a sale agreement and you had paid a deposit of 1 million. 5 years. And you tell Omari, go to court. I have found somebody who has built on top of my land. This is my sale agreement. I now have the balance of 4 million to pay. The court will simply tell you, you're wasting your time. What you have is a hot air. Explanations about your father's death, explanations about those stories are stories ajaba. Usituambie stories ajaba. You either pay because time is of essence. Welcome to Court Helicopter, the 4th episode on the question of land. As we said, land is a motive. Land is not a joke. Women were married because they were coming to get land to till. Children were born because there was land to be tilled for them to go to school. People murder each other because of land. Everybody has an investment. The first thing you're asked, have you bought land? Have you built your small house? So the 4th episode, we have done the 3rd episode, a sale agreement. Now we are talking of breach. If you fail to do what you have signed in the sale agreement. For example, the sale agreement has said you pay a deposit of 10% at the point of execution of the sale agreement. The balance you pay after 90 days. You go and you get a problem. Your employer sacks you. You cannot raise the balance according to the time that balance was supposed to be paid. Wakili Danstan Omari, who was your employer, sacks you midway. You can't pay. COVID comes. You can't pay the balance. You get an accident and you're taken to hospital. You can't pay. Your wife conceives and gives birth to triplicates. You can't pay. Because of any other reason, you are not able to meet the terms of the contract. You write letters. You write text messages, crying, taking photos. You are in hospital. Give me more time. I will pay. The bank that promised to give you the money refuses to give you. You trigger the coming into Section 39 of the law, the land right, the vendor's right to regain possession. The vendor is the seller. What does it say? If under contract for the sale of land, the purchaser has entered into the possession of that land, the vendor may exercise his or her contractual right to rescind the contract by reason of breach of the contract by the purchaser by resuming possession of that land peaceably or obtaining an order for possession of the land from the court in accordance with the provisions of Section 41. So the owner of the land, if you can't pay him, you can't pay her, they have a right to repossess the land, but not violently. Either they walk in and repossess the land, or they go to court and sue for you to be thrown out so that they take up the land. What will happen? What are the procedures? He says in section 41, a vendor who proposes to seek to regain possession of private land, 1, will issue notices. In 41A says, it is the nature and extent of the breach complained by the vendor. He'll give you a notice telling you what you have done. If the breach cannot be remedied, the vendor has a right to take back that land. Not only that land, my friend, under section 40, the lender might go for damages. What are damages? He says, nothing prevents the vendor from claiming damages and mercenary profits from the purchase for the breach of contract for sale. What is mercenary profits? I want to explain this. You entered into a contract to buy Vivian's land. You paid 10%. Vivian allowed you to enter into that land. You are supposed to pay the balance within 90 days. Between day 1, as you enter, you plant vegetables. The vegetables you harvest after every 2 weeks. You take to the market, you sell. You plant other vegetables. You take to the market, you sell. You get napier grass, you cut, you feed a cow. All these things, you make money. After 90 days, Vivian kicks you out. She will go to court to demand for the money you made by selling the vegetables. The money you got from selling the napier grass, getting the napier grass, feeding your cows, and selling the milk. All the profits you got when you are staying there. If you had put up a structure, Vivian will be going to court and say, if you rented that place, you could have paid rent of 30,000 monthly. She will ask for 90,000 shillings. That is mercenary profits. What is the case law? Let us look at the authorities that have dealt with breach of contract. This is a matter that went in the Environment and Land Court at Malindi. Case number 116 of 2015. Justice Mao Odein J. in December 19, 2023. Francisca Wayua Chule and Mary versus Mary Nyamvula Jilani, defending in the capacity as the administrator of the state of David Igona Nguma. These are the brief facts of the matter. The purchaser paid a deposit of 2 million shillings, of 1 million shillings. Says the purchaser failed to pay the said balance of the purchase price of Kenya shillings 1 million before the said new completion date, when this sale and purchase will forthwith be repudiated, and the vendor shall forthwith forfeit all the monies paid by the purchaser on account of the purchase price aforesaid. So, paragraph 24, the agreement was specific on the default clause, and the plaintiff admitted that she did not fulfill the terms of the agreement by making full payments of the purchase price. What did the judge say? The upshot is that the plaintiff is only entitled to orders of injunction and specific performance, where the plaintiff made full payment. So, in this authority, if you have paid 10% and you go away, and as very many of you go, you come after 10 years, you come after 3 years, you come after 6 months, you will lose the deposit that you paid. Second authority. This is the Environment and Land Appeal Court at Kajiado, case number E048 of 2024, Judge M.D. Mwangi, October 30th, 2025. This is a case between Sami Arekai Sarich, Mary Chelagat Sarich, and Peter Gadhigi Marigi, and the others. This judgment is from an appeal that was in Ngong Law Courts. What are the facts of this matter? The facts of this matter are, he says, when you want to repossess the land, there's a procedure to repossess that land, you as the owner. That is section 41, which we have dealt with. How do you repossess the land? It says, notice making time of essence. You must issue a notice saying time is of essence. Time is of essence, my God. Look at all the sale agreement. You'll see something called time is of essence. Paragraph 51. Notice making, time of essence. In cases where time is not originally of the essence of the contract, or where a stipulation making time of the essence has been waived, time may be made of the essence. Where there is unreasonable delay by a notice from the party who is not in default, fixing a reasonable time for completion and stating that in the event of non-completion within the time so fixed, he intends to enforce or abandon the contract. But the time fixed must be reasonable, having regard to the position of things at the time when the notice is given. So the notice must indicate that time is of the essence. Time expires. You are still waiting. You have been given a notice of either 30 days, 14 days to pay the balance. And the notice says time is of essence. You sit on it. You don't do anything. What did the judge find? The judge found out it is hereby declared that the agreement for sale entered into between the appellant and the first respondent in respect of the suit property is valid and enforceable. 2. An order of specific performance is hereby issued directing the appellant to pay the remainder of the purchase price within 30 days. So, what are we saying? If you fail to pay, the owner can go to court. 1, to get an order for specific performance, telling you you must pay. Omari, you must pay because you had signed the balance. And that is why the order of specific performance is an order compelling you to do what you did. In this matter, an order of specific performance is hereby issued directing the appellant to pay the remainder of the purchase price within 30 days. So the court can compel you to pay within a stipulated timeline. The courts have been very, very emphatic that the owner has a right to regain the land. What are lessons in this matter? This is very critical because people have some small money. They enter into a sale agreement in an anticipation that they are going to get the money. They do not get that money. They go away. The owner rescinds the contract. The owner sells that land to another person. After 5 years, you come from America with a sale agreement and you had paid a deposit of 1 million. 5 years. And you tell Omari, go to court. I have found somebody who has built on top of my land. This is my sale agreement. I now have the balance of 4 million to pay. The court will simply tell you, you're wasting your time. What you have is a hot air. How many of you have sale agreements and you have not completed the terms of that sale agreement? Explanations about your father's death, explanations about those stories are stories ajaba. Usituambie stories ajaba. You either pay because time is of essence. What is another lesson that we learn from here? The owner can repossess his land if you have not completed to pay. Any breach as provided for from section 39, 40, and 41, the land up to 42, the owner can repossess that land. Utakuwa unalilia tu, hautapata ile shamba. Wakili Danstan Omari warning you on the 4th episode that you must finish the terms of the sale of agreement. What about the seller? If the seller wants and you paid him everything, and he tells you, no, I found a Chinese, I don't want, you can go still to court and show that you have paid everything. The owner will be compelled, as we have seen the case of Thika, where in Justice Mugeni's case, the judge ordered that the person provide the documents to court within 30 days, failure to which the land registrar was told that the registrar of the High Court shall sign those documents on behalf of the appellant. So it is both sides. If you are the seller and you want to be clever, somebody has paid you, but you want more money, the court will order you do specific performance. If you are a buyer and you have not paid complete the amount, the court will order for you to do a specific performance. Wakili Danstan Omari. Episode 4, we are going to episode 5, transfers of land. How is land transferred? Keep watching. Episode 5, rolling shortly.